Welcome to Commander's Comments. I'm your producer for the evening, Harrison. Without further ado, here is our Chief of Heritage Operations, Mr. Ron Kennedy.
Thank you, Moose. We appreciate that introduction, and I understand we have the Moose's father in the background helping out, and we appreciate your help today. Welcome, everyone, to Commander's Comment. This is our opportunity to bring all the members of the SCV and our friends of the SCV up to date on what's going on in the Sons of Confederate Veterans. And I want to thank our Commander-in-Chief, Jason Boshers, for taking time to do this. I was trying to take a count, and I've missed it. We started doing Commander's Comment back, let's see, it was before Larry McClooney. It was Paul Gremlin, past Commander-in-Chief. Paul Gremlin is the one that started it, and we've done them ever since. McClooney, Commander-in-Chief McClooney kept it going, and now Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshers is keeping it going. I think this is an excellent way of keeping our members informed, and I want urge every SCV member who listens to this to pass the information on to your camp members. Send them the URL, which will be posted where they can go back and listen if they missed it, and encourage them to be online. With that, Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshers, I understand you're in a hotel room this afternoon getting ready to fly out.
Yes, sir. I'll be leaving bright and early in the morning to head to the SUVCW encampment, Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War encampment. They, as anybody who came to our national reunion, they were part of our welcome. I have visited with them now twice. I was, this will be my second visit. I was at Grand Rapids, Michigan last year. They're a great group of guys. We have so many, and what I was amazed about was when they brought me in to do the welcome, I looked out in the audience and I'm going, there's a whole lot of familiar faces. We have a lot of SOBs, sons of both. And I noticed when he came and gave greetings, past commander of the SUVCW, Brian Pearson, came and gave greeting. So many of them were out there in the audience, and I'll get to see them again, talk to them. I'll be able to see them again this weekend. But to make sure that I catch this red-eye flight in the morning, I needed to get on up here in Nashville and get in a hotel. If not, I might as well not have slept tonight, because I'd been leaving the house at 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure I was at the airport in enough time. Whereas where I am right now, I'm a mile and a half from the airport. So in case the background looks funny, it's called a hotel room. Yes.
Well, with the SCV from headquarters, we spend a lot of time going around the country. So that looks like a nice place compared to some of the hotel rooms I've stayed at on the road.
Oh, yes, sir.
I want to welcome our folks. I see there's a Linda, there's a Samuel, there's a Keith online with us. I appreciate y'all being online and making some comments. Also, I wanted to tell everyone, and my brother gave me strict instructions to tell everyone that he will not be on the chat tonight, nor will Paul Gremlin, past Commander-in-Chief, nor will past Commander-in-Chief Chuck McMichael. Donald is speaking at the Taylor camp tonight, so they're all at the Taylor camp, so they won't be online. They're usually online making comments, so Donald wanted to make sure everyone knew that. He last week he was over in Texas at the Sam Davis Youth Camp, had a great time there, and I think that's something we really need to push. I think they had about 19 young people. We need, 90 young people at these things, because that's our future. So, I see there's an owl that showed up too. Good evening. It's from Middle Tennessee. That's up in your part of the world.
Yes, sir, it is.
Well, Commander, what do you have on your list that you want to cover tonight?
Well, you mentioned one. I didn't have it on my list, but you mentioned it, and that's the Sam Davis Youth Camp. Uh, as you know, the future. There's going to come a time that the Kennedys and myself and, well, we're just not going to be able to carry on things. And we need good people, good young people right now in our organization that we can pass these batons off to. And they are the future of this organization. They're going to be the future of our nation. And I did not, and Kurt Lyons did bring the young lady in to speak concerning the Sam Davis Youth Camp. I wish I could have spent more time with that, because it is one of those things that needs to be talked more. I learned a lot from the national reunion. As far as scheduling and getting stuff in and out, I wanted to cover as much business as I could, but I think I got a little too generous and what I was hoping to accomplish. And this coming reunion in Charleston, there's not going to be a schedule like that. You know, it's of course elections are going to be going on as well. So it was when last year when I was elected. I ended up reaching out, and because we have all of these committees, there's 16 committees. If you look at our standing orders, we have 16 committees. So I was going through all these committees and who's on it, do you still want to be on it, appointing people, working through that how you're supposed to do. And I asked them, I said, have you ever given a report at National? And they said, no. I said, well, give a report at National. And there were several of them that did. I wish we could have covered more. The Sam Davis Youth Camp, they're going to have more time at the reunion this coming year in 2024 in Charleston. Also, we're going to talk a lot more about the cadet program. That's one of the things that I was wanting to talk about more. I fell out of Florida by the name of Brian Turner, tried to get some stuff scheduled. As you know, there was stuff in the Confederate Veteran magazine. It didn't come to fruition because there were a lot of people that did not sign up for it. Nobody, when he had to call it off, because you have to settle the rooms far enough ahead of time. And because nobody signed up, the event got canceled. Well, we're going to start pushing it already and plan on having a big event with that in Charleston. So you can look forward to that in the future. So, and since you mentioned them, I wanted to piggyback off what you said.
You know, quite a few camps in the past have actually sponsored young people. So they would pay the expense and that type of thing to help get them to one of these Sam Davis camps. So I think that's something we can really encourage folks to do. And I saw we got some folks from Florida signed up too online. Good to see you. I recognized the face as soon as it came up, but not the pretty lady he was with. But anyway.
Oh yes, Roy and Linda Hudson. Yes.
Yep.
Great group of great people visited their camp for Lee Jackson. Just great people.
Well,
and
looks
thank
like
y'all for
we got
coming
quite
in.
A few from Florida. I see Keith's from Northeast Florida.
Oh yes, sir. He's 1209. He's them Jacksonville boys.
Yeah, I'm having trouble reading on the side because I've got these graduated bifocals and I've got to bend my neck so much to read this comment. So it's sort of tough. All right, what else is on your? I see you're wanting to talk a little bit about the relief fund, and those of us in Florida and Louisiana and Texas. We understand that this is hurricane season, but so let's talk about it a little bit.
Well, I just and I know everybody's saying you may mention this every time. Yes, I do, because this is an opportunity for brother to help brother, family to help family. This is one of those things you can contribute to. You can go to scv.org, you can go into donations, and you can just work your way through it and give to the SCV Relief Fund. And if you Tennessee, we don't have hurricanes, we have tornadoes.
Yep.
And, it's I worked for an insurance company for nearly 37 years, and just complete losses in many cases. And this is something that they can petition the SCV for. A SCV member can ask and get some relief, and some money come their way where they can at least buy some clothes, some food, some water, anything that they can do to help them till the insurance deal gets settled up. So and I want to keep mentioning that because I know what it's like. I've seen it where people had complete losses. In the little town that I'm from, Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, there was a tornado come through there maybe 15 years ago, and it was just on the outside of town, and some people had complete losses. And it stayed on the ground. It was an F3, and it was sad. And to see everybody step up and help everybody, this is an opportunity for you to do that. And so keep that in the back of your mind. I have been very fortunate that I have been able to attend a few events. One that was happening right before the national reunion was the Children of the Confederacy. And I was able to go and visit with them. And I did not say enough about that at the national reunion. That was an extremely, extremely humbling event to be there and to be able to talk to the future. And I'm sitting there witnessing the future, and I hear what they're talking about, and I'm seeing what they're doing, and I'm going, we have got to get these young people. We've got to get them. And to be asked to be there and to be able to say a few words, I didn't talk very long, just to give a welcome, but to sit there and I watched the programs and plays and talk to them, and it was an extremely humbling event. I just wanted to let everybody know that, support the Children of the Confederacy. It is something that the ladies of the United Daughters of the Confederacy work with, and we really should be supporting the Children of the Confederacy. And I want to thank them for coming, for allowing me to come. And I want to thank them for giving a welcome. They were not able to come and give a welcome themselves, but Tammy Hurley, who is the third vice president works with the Children of the Confederacy. She was able to give their welcome, and she read their welcome at our national reunion. And I just want to say that I was very humbled by that. Then we went to a little place called Hot Springs, Arkansas. And it was a beautiful place. It was warm. It was hot. But I tell you, there were a lot of really good things. Yes, sir, Kevin. And thank you for saying that. It was a great reunion. The Keller camp and the Arkansas division need to be congratulated on an excellent job. They did a fantastic reunion. Loy Mock knows what Loy Mock is doing. And they did an absolute fantastic job with the reunion. The hotel, of course, has a whole lot of history with it. And I hope everybody who came had a great time. I did. It was a busy time. It's 4 days of almost no sleep. Victor deserves awards and medals and accolades because I think he took him 5 days to get there on a Greyhound.
Wow.
And he got sent, the buses got canceled and he got sent to different locations. And I think it took him 5 days to get there. And Victor, you can chime in if I'm wrong on this. And I forget how many states you said that just about every southern state in the Confederacy, Victor went through. And I just want to, and talking about due diligence, I was able to sit down with Victor very briefly, because sometimes you just don't have a lot of time to visit with people because it's always business that you're having to take care of. And I was able to sit out and talk to Victor for just a few minutes on Saturday before the banquet. And it was good talking to him. I think he spent 5 days getting there. He might have only had a handful of hours of sleep because because I don't know if you can sleep on those Greyhound buses. And was there for a couple of days and then was back on the road headed home. And it's a long way from Southern Florida to Arkansas. I was listening to the guys talk about it, and they were talking, 14 hours worth of drive, 24 hours worth of driving, because they were leaving at, 7 o'clock at night and getting there at, not 24 hours, 14 hours, and getting there at 9 o'clock the next morning. So, okay, he said he left Ocala, Florida, the Wednesday of the reunion and didn't arrive until 5 a.m. on Friday morning. So he took him a long time to get there. And Victor, thank you for your due diligence. And I was happy to sit and talk to you. As far as the reunion itself, the business that was conducted, I'd like to, first of all, Randy Burbage, who is over the awards committee, him and I had a conversation, and this was it had been a long time since this many people have been put in for awards. And he was happy to see it, and I was happy to see it. And I want to thank everybody that put people in for awards. Give them some props. Give them their accolades. If they're out there and they're doing the work, they're not doing it to get the pat on the back, but still get them the pat on the back. And I want to thank everybody who submitted them. Then we had the award ceremony. A lot of them were passed out then. Then we get to the Robert E. Lee. We get to Saturday night and the banquet, and we had the Robert E. Lee Award, which is the second highest that we give. We had 3 winners of that: Randy Gyro, John McCammon, and Connor Bond. So we had a Louisiana, a Texas, and a Mississippi boy that won these awards, and all of them are very well deserved. And I'm proud of everything they've done. And then the highest award that is given is the Jefferson Davis Chalice, and an absolute legend won that, Ronnie Roach. If you've been around the SCV for any length of time, Ronnie Roach is he's just something else. When I come on to the GEC, he was there, and when I was pinning the medal on him, I told him, I said, when I come on to the GEC, I thought you were one of the coolest guys that I'd ever met, because he was calm, he was cool, he was collected, he didn't make rash judgments. He's like a lot of us. He runs off of emotion. And, because what we do a lot of times is very emotional to us. Mm-hmm. We take it very personal. But when it come time to make the decisions, his decision wasn't based off emotion. It was, what's the best thing to do? And what's the best thing to do for the organization? What's the best thing to do for the membership? And to actually be able to pin the Jefferson Davis award on him was very humbling. And I just want to thank Ronnie. You're the greatest, and I appreciate you.
Now, what division is he from? Let's don't leave that out.
Well, let's see. I believe he's one of these North Carolina boys, isn't he?
I think so, too. I'm not sure, but I do believe last time I was in North Carolina with him, he was in North Carolina. But
well, he's, 4 years as ANV commander, and I think 4 years as councilman. And I'm pretty sure he's been division commander, and he's just a stalwart guy, just a great guy. And to have him there and pin the award on him was really, really very nice.
I see Victor Smith has a comment. He says 14 members of the Florida division received the Distinguished Service Award. So there you go. Thank you.
Okay.
There.
Yes. Well, they were very, very well represented. For them to be so far from Hot Springs, a lot of Florida boys made it there, and they were extremely well represented. And I'm also seeing where he posted this earlier, he was in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Georgia.
Wow.
That's how many states he went through to try to get there.
Oh, man.
Victor, I don't know what award I'm going to come up with, but I'm going to have to give you an award for that.
Let's
just call it the due diligence.
Maybe it's the Traveling Confederate Award or something.
Oh, no. Oh, yes. Okay. We're going to come up with something for that.
Come up with something.
Yes.
Right.
We had 3 amendments, and all 3 amendments failed. So 2 of the amendments, there was going to be a recommendation. If you read the Confederate Veteran and you read the Book of Reports, 2 of these had the recommendation of forming a committee to look into how these need to be addressed in the future. And that is what I am working on right now. I'm working on the committees. Now, I know the amendments failed, but I still wanted to go ahead and form a committee and get out in front of these. If you don't know what they are, go read the Confederate Veteran magazine, and it's at the very back of it, and you will see what we're talking about and what we need to do. Then one of the things that I got very tied up on was with the investment committee. As you know, that we have the bank note for the museum, and I'm wanting to desire to get that paid off as rapidly as we can. So I met with I talked to an investment banker while I was there, and then I met with the investment committee after one of the business sessions. I believe it was on Thursday. We met for quite a while to iron out some of the things that we're going to that we're going to do or that we need to do. Some of this has already taken place, and we're already doing it. If you came to the post reunion meeting on Saturday, you'd be familiar with it. One of the funds, it was decided that wasn't needed anymore. It was having to do with some of the building. So we used that to pay, that's going to pay on the note. And then if you were there at reunion, every day we had the deal where people were making donations, and we were given close to $90,000 by the different people, the different divisions, the different armies, the different camps. I want to thank everybody who stepped up and they made donations. It was fantastic. And I want to thank everybody for doing it. I think Alabama led the way, and I think they led the way with 29,000. I know Texas gave 10,000. Tennessee gave 11,000. North Carolina gave 13,000, plus the mechanized cavalry gave. Everybody stepped up. And I want to thank everybody who made those donations. One of the things that I have wanted to do is to get this debt off of us as quickly as we can, because there's other things that we need to be doing. One of the things that comes to mind right off the bat is we need to be open on Saturday. Yeah. Saturday is one of the biggest tourism days that is out there. And every Saturday that we're not open, we're missing people coming in and getting the true Southern story.
Right.
And people say, well, what about the money? What about the money? From the beginning, it was said about the museum that this is an educational opportunity. And it is that. It is an educational opportunity. People are coming in. They're getting the word. And so every Saturday that we're closed, we're not bringing people in and to get the true and complete story of the Southland and the creation of our nation, because we start in 1607 and we're going all the way up to modern times. So that's one of the things that we need to do. And somebody said, well, you can get volunteer labor. Volunteer labor can't handle money. We have to have an employee. We have to hire somebody that we pay to be able to handle the money for people to come in and go through the museum or go through the house. So that is one of the things that we need to do. And the quicker you get this debt off of us, it's just like if you get your car paid off early or get your house paid off early. All of a sudden, you feel like you got the biggest raise you ever got. Think of what your house note is or was, and think about, if it's $700, $800 a month, all of a sudden you feel like you've got the biggest raise when you get it paid off. So that's one of the things that I've wanted to do. And the investment committee, they met, they talked. Frank Powell addressed the group and came up with the idea that if we get at least 260 people to commit to giving $50 a month for 2 years, what that would do. And, you can go online, you can go to scv.org, go under the donations tab, and then you can set this where it will automatically pull out every month. And, I've done it, Frank's done it, others have done it. And it's just, there were people speaking up in the audience, and I think we had probably 20 people that said they were going to do it. And if we get enough people doing it, all of this is just going to come out automatically, just like a lot of the other things that you do. I set up a lot of my stuff for automatic withdrawal. That way I don't have to remember to cut a check. So do you have anything you want to add to this, Mr. Kennedy?
No, I really want to encourage all the camp members to go back to their camps and tell them, look, we've already got somewhere about 20 or 30 people who we've already signed up for it. This $50 a month automatic deduction, and it is tax deductible. It's like a contribution to the museum. And Frank Powell made an excellent presentation on it. I believe, do we have a special section under the donations on our website where you can sign up for the $50 automatically, and it comes out and it goes to the museum fund? And
yes.
So the idea is to let's pay off this thing as soon as we can. This is going to be a tremendous help, and we need about another 230, 220 Confederates who will come up and say, yes, I'll do it for $50 a month for 24 months, which really, when you look at it, is not that much. It is to people like me that's no longer working and you're on a fixed income, but I can put it on my credit card and have it automatically deducted and deduct it from my income tax at the end of the year. And I just think it's a great way we can help pay this off. So
yes.
Like the commander says, this museum was set up not to be a showcase for artifacts. If you want to go artifacts, we've got people in our in the Southern Heritage Movement who have more artifacts in their homes that they bought or else dug up. A lot of them like to do that. So that's not the purpose of this museum, is to house those special artifacts in order to tell the story that's not being told. But it's our job to tell the story. And once we get this museum paid off, we can spend a lot more money advertising the museum, reaching out to the public. We can make this the absolute center of Southern heritage for all parties involved, and our Southern culture, not just the, quote, Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just very important, and I give Frank Powell a high five for coming up with the idea. We need about 220 more people to step up and say, yeah, we're going to get this done. Now, that won't pay the total thing off, but it'll put us at a point so that when it comes time to renew the note, we won't get stuck with a massive increase in our interest payment. That's what we're looking at. So yes. That, and within other donations that come in the next 24 months, I think that's going to put us in a great position. Whoever's in charge 24 months from now will be looking at an SCV that doesn't have this baggage of, and it's not baggage, it's we're toting the note. It's just like we're buying a house to pay for. And I know Carl Jones has said it. I know Chuck McMichael has said this is a museum not for artifacts, but to tell the story of the South.
And you are so correct. That was the way that it was presented, oddly enough, in 2009 in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It was presented as well. They just saw the eradication of Southern history, and we saw it. We talked about it, and the idea of this museum was struck up. If you were there in Hot Springs in 2009, you were part of the conversation, and it's a reality, and it is doing what it was originally designed to do. Yes. It would be nice if the museum was paid for and it was paying for itself, and we were making money off of it. But the point of it was to be able to educate. And as if you're watching what's going on within the general public and what all is going on TV and how things are pushed out, we need more education, accurate education. True education, not agenda driven education. There's a tremendous amount of agenda driven education. This is not agenda driven. The museum is not. It is only an educational opportunity. And that's the way that it was designed, and that's what it's doing. And I'm honored to be part of it. And I thank everybody who has worked on it, everybody's that has contributed to it. I can go ahead and tell you, it's never going to be done. We might get the debt off of us, we'll get the debt off of us, but we're always going to be messing with the museum because it's never going to be completed. We're going to have opportunities for new artifacts that we're going to have to put on display. The textiles that we have on display, they can't stay out forever. They're going to have to be taken and put back in the archives room and given a rest, as that's what they call it, to give it a rest. So this is going to be worked on constantly. And you're 10 commanders and chiefs down the road, 10 chief of heritage operations down the road. I pray that they're on here talking about this, doing exactly what we're doing now and telling this is what's going on in the museum, because that's telling me that they are continuing on with everything that has been worked on. And I think I just want to thank everybody for that, everybody who made these donations. And there's going to be more coming in the future. I get asked this a lot in the last week or two. What was it like to stay in the Al Capone suite? First of all, it was, people ask, a question I got asked more than anything was it haunted? I didn't see any ghost or anything like that. I'd be working or something like that, typing up the agenda for the next day, and you'd always get this stuff out of the corner of your eye, so you'd look and there's nothing there. I just figured it was, lights, the air conditioning blowing something, so I didn't see it, although some people said they come in and they could feel stuff, and everybody wanted to see the door, and you could look in the closet, and there was a door in the closet that Al Capone used that would take him all the way out because under all of the buildings are tunnels, and the main road that was out in front of the hotel, it was a creek bed, and the road had been built over the creek bed, and they just get the tunnels and go in the creek bed, follow under the road, and go to wherever they needed to. First thing that happened when we got there is the air conditioning went out in the room, which means that it got quite warm. And they come up, looked at it, determined it was the compressor. And they brought another one up, put it in, and they did a great job. They took care of everything. They can't help that they lost a compressor. So I asked the maintenance guy about it, and he didn't tell a whole lot about it, but he did say, yeah, that is it. And I said, well, I've tried to unlock it. And he's going, you're not going to be able to unlock it, because I actually wanted to take a peek, do a look-see and see what I could find. But that was there, and he did say that it went down to the tunnels, and Capone could go anywhere in Hot Springs he wanted to and never appear on the streets. Of course, he had some clubs up and down through there, and his rivals had clubs, and he could sit there in the hotel room that overlooked the road, which was where I had these meetings with the investment committees and the museum committee, and look down the road and be able to see how much activity was going on. There were a whole lot of people. As far as I know, it's the only hotel room in the hotel that had a doorbell, and people would come up and they would ring the doorbell. Several times I opened the door and there were people that were standing out there because it's got a plaque on it that said Al Capone Suite, and people would be taking pictures. And a lot of people come up and either knock or ring the doorbell and want to come in and see the room. And if it was SCV members, sure, come on in. But there was a lot of just general public, and no, we're using it right now. And oddly enough, majority of the time we were, because there were a lot of conversations in there. The only odd thing that I really had happen in the room was I had just left and was going to come down to the business meeting, and thought I need to go back because the elevators were backed up, and I thought, well, tell you what, I'm gonna go back to the room and go to the bathroom. I hadn't been gone 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And I go in the room and I hear all this laughing and carrying on, and my wife and all the ladies had come up and had come into the room, and they were having a ladies thing going. All I did was turn around and shut the door and walk back off. I said, that's that was one place I didn't need to be.
That's right.
Yes, sir. So I'll just go back downstairs and other than that, it was a lot of people wanted to see the room, and a lot of people came to visit, and I appreciate everybody that did. And I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed staying there. I enjoyed having the room, and especially the little business section it had in it, to where I could get the committees there and get the committees talking. And other than that, it was a great reunion. So
it was a great reunion, and I swear every time I turned around, I saw Lloyd Mock. He was on the move the whole time, and I know he is exhausted himself. He and all the ladies and men he had work. It wasn't just Lloyd, but no. We all know Lloyd so well. But he had a whole group of ladies and folks, men, helping him out, and they did a wonderful job.
They really did.
Tell us a little bit about the Rebel Rouser cruise.
Oh yes, we got back. We had the Rebel Rouser cruise in. That was this past Saturday. Lucky, I was happy to be there. I stopped counting at 53 cars. Now wow. We had, this is a cruise in. It wasn't a car show. So people are kind of coming and going as they see fit. They come up, stay there a couple of hours, and leave. Like I said, I finished counting at 53 cars. A lot more come in, or several more come in after that. They were actually starting to show up early. We were setting up at 7:30, and cars were already showing up. Didn't start until 9, went to about 2, but it really started dying down about 1 or 1:30. The local camp, Sam Watkins Camp 29, they were providing food, smoked bologna, hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, drink, cookies. All of that is going to go to the museum. It was all donated. All this is going to be donated to the museum. All of the groceries were donated as well. We had a lot of people come through the museum. Anybody who had a car in the cruise in, they were given a ticket, and the museum, they had a lot of people coming in. I don't know if any of you, the ones that have been to the museum, the back in the parking lot for the museum, the back 2 rows at one, we were using those for people that were visiting, people that wanted to come see the cars, and that stayed full almost all day. Good. So we had a lot of people that just came there to see the cars. We had some people that, I just wanted to come see if the museum was open. Hey, you caught us on a day when we're having an event, and money was spent in the gift shop. There were home tours that were going on. I want to thank David Cost for being spending the day in Elm Springs in the home, giving tours. Adam was working the gift shop. Every time I went in and out of the museum, There were a lot of people in there. So I'm guessing at one time there was 30 to 40 people inside the museum at one particular time. It was pretty hot, about 11. So a lot of people were coming in to get out of the heat, and they were inside the museum, and it was just an all around great day. It was more successful than the one that they had last year, and I think this is one of those things that we're going to keep going because it does what it's supposed to as an educational opportunity.
And the important thing is this isn't necessarily a reenactors group. This isn't, this just brings in people who probably wouldn't have come otherwise.
Oh, yes. These are car guys,
Right.
car guys, car gals. They're more interested in a motor than, what caliber is a 3-band Enfield.
Right.
But they're happy to come there. And they're happy to have places that host these. Yeah. And all of them come out. We said, hey, we're going to do this next year. Hey, I'll be back. So it's they're just happy to have a place come do it. It's a good parking lot they can set up in when they get hot or eat or want something to eat. There's food there. They can go inside the museum. It's just a good place for them. It's a good parking lot, and a lot of people seem to be really happy to have their picture made with their car in front of the museum with the flag in the background. So
that's wonderful. Yeah,
okay.
That's wonderful. But and again, this is part of the Southern Cultural Center. Yeah. So this is what we are about. The entire South, not just one little part about it. Now the little part is the key part. It's the most important part. But we bringing in these others. As a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody today, shortly before the meeting, this broadcast, about doing a 1812 overture with about 11 different artillery pieces. And if you've ever heard the 1812 overture of all the cannons going, I said, man, let's try to do that at Elm Springs. That would be a great thing to do. But anyway, that's some of the things we can do at our, not just at the museum, not just at Elm Springs, but the cultural center that
yes,
we
sir.
have there. We are really running short on time.
Okay. Are we? Oh, good gracious! Yeah. It's nearly a quarter till. I've talked too much.
Yeah. No, you don't talk too much. What about dues? Are they coming in?
Dues are coming in, but dues are coming in very slowly. Very slowly. I've been talking to Adam. Now there were several problems that occurred. One thing that happened was the organization that sent out our MRSs, they sent them out about a month late because they could not get envelopes. So we know that we're running a month behind that. And there's some for some divisions that have had a problem with the addresses, and the way it was sent to the MRS, they're going to the wrong place, wrong name, wrong place. So they are going, they're working on getting that corrected. But dues are still coming in very, very slowly.
Perhaps we need to talk a little bit about, or recommend people who are camp commanders and adjutants of the camps to attend Eric Pravetti's training session.
Yes.
Let's make sure we're doing everything on our end. Now we can't do anything about envelopes that aren't available. I mean, that's beyond anybody's apparently right now. But Wednesday, August the 16th at 4 p.m. Central Time, Eric Pravetti will be doing an adjutant training session, and a second one Wednesday on the 31st at 10 a.m. So that's a.m. The other one was p.m., 4 p.m. Central Time. And on the 30th, it's 10 a.m. Central Time. So if you're a camp commander or adjutant, make sure you get in on this training. Let's make sure we I've sat in on Eric's presentations at various training sessions, and it is well worth it. The guy really has the system down pat.
Yes, and anybody that's going to be coming to the ATM workshop in Texarkana, Texas, Eric is going to be there. He's riding over with me. So we're going to, he's going to put this program on, and you can see how to do this. I am the adjutant in my camp, and it's easy with Salesforce. The other night, I was watching on Monday night. We had regular SCV chat on, and while SCV chat was going on, I paid national dues for the camp, and because I had gotten some in, I pay as I go. And I know there's a lot of them. Well, I'm going to wait till I get everybody's in and send one check. Well, but if you wait till everything gets here, you're going to send it in at the end of August. Well, see, right now you're late because dues were due July 31st. And it's now the second day or third day of August. Third day of August, yes.
Yep.
It's the third day of August, and you're in the grace period. So if you wait, and there's some of them, they told me, he said, I don't pay the dues until I send them in on the last day of August. Well, you get this whole flood of dues in at one time. Using Salesforce, I was sitting down on Monday. I'd have a whole week's worth of dues that came in. I would listen to SCV chat, and I would pay national dues on Salesforce. It's just that simple. And I had a week's worth. And, that's what I did Monday. Now, I also know this. I have about 30 members that haven't renewed in my camp. And now I've started the calling process. I'll send them an email reminding them, then I'll start calling them. Because it's just, I don't know if people forget. I don't know if people put it off. People wait to the last minute. So with the adjutant and commander training and learning to use Salesforce, there is no rush. You can just sit at home and watch a TV show, watch SCV chat, watch commanders' comments.
There you go.
And look around the Confederation, look around Florida. Michael Hardy's history chat on Sunday night. And you can watch all of these programs and just pay national dues. And I know a lot of them. One of them I talked to, he just said, I just don't pay them to the last day. And the ones that I'm missing are the ones that I'm missing. And he said, I said, okay. I said, it's just, I like to see them, people pay as they go, but that's their decision. And Salesforce is easy. It makes it real easy. Come and take Eric's training course, and it will help.
Yeah, it really floods the headquarters with a bunch of stuff all at the last moment. And
yes,
if you can do it as as they come in, it really smooths out the work for headquarters. And but main thing is let's get it done. Let's see, you mentioned the ATM, so that's coming up August the 12th. That's a week from this coming Saturday. Hope to see a bunch of the Trans-Mississippi folks there. Looking forward to it. What about national promotions? We've got some results, and we'll talk about this. The Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief and the Chief of Heritage Operations is going to spend more time talking about this Monday on the Confederate Legion update. So I don't want to use up the commander's time talking.
Go ahead. This is important stuff.
But we've got the results ready. We're going to send them out. I'll start sending them out this weekend. Hope to have them all done by Monday. So each division commander is going to get a little blurb. It's about a 5-sentence blurb talking about the results of these opinion polls we paid for. And I'm asking you to copy that and send it to every camp and ask the camp members and the camps to send this by email to your local elected Republicans. Or if you've got a conservative Democrat, send it to him, or her. But those are like unicorns. So, but anyway, that's another story altogether. But the idea is we want our elected officials at the local level. I don't care if he's a dog catcher, if he's elected Republican, send him this little blurb. You're not sending him a treat. It's just a quick explanation that the vast majority of Southern conservatives who have elected these people to office are insisting that they protect our heritage, all of our traditional American values, including our Southern heritage. We need to put these people on notice. Two things. Number one, the majority of the people who elected you want you to protect this. And number two, there's a group of people out there who's actively working to defend this heritage, and we don't want to get those folks upset. So that we'll talk more about that on Monday. I hope you'll get a chance to tune in to Confederate Legion update on SCV chat. Also, Epic Times, we had great results doing national advertising with Epic Times, but we got to keep it going. You can't stop. So we're starting a new budget year. I think the Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief wants to do some more national ads. My dream is to see a national ad on Breitbart or something like that people can click on and go to the Confederate Museum and SCV ad that Forrest Dawes does such a great job with his voiceover, and the script writer did a great job. We also have the one-click politics. We'll probably go ahead and renew that next year. Very, very important. Hopefully we'll be able to get that lined up next week or the week after so that you can send every one of your elected senators and representatives, national level, a copy of the little blurb. And so that's on the list to do. That's enough for me. I'll have a lot more Monday, so I don't want to take up more time. Let's see, Commander, what about what's going on Saturdays at the Southern Heritage Center?
Oh, yes. People keep asking what days or what weekends are the museum open. We're working toward being open every Saturday, but for right now, we're not able to do that. We have one coming up on August the 19th. That's where we're going to have a night at the museum. That is where displays, characters, individuals will come to life inside the museum. I know Adam and his wife Kayla and a few other people are working on scripts for all of this. Another Saturday we're going to be open is September 9th. Another one is October 7th. That is also the day of the GEC meeting. As you know, we have 2 GEC meetings, one in the fall, one in the spring at Elm Springs. And the fall one is going to be October the 7th. November the 11th is a Veterans Day. Going to be open for that, where veterans will be admitted free. And the next time for this year, or the last time for the year, is the first weekend in December, which is going to be December 2nd, I believe is the Saturday. It's the home tours. Elm Springs is always on the southern tour of homes for Christmas, and you'll be able to come see the museum, come to the house. So you still have 5 different Saturdays that you can come this year and see the museum. And we're going to start working on the schedule for next year, coming out pretty soon. So.
Will Santa Claus be there in December so we can get our picture with Santa Claus at the museum?
Absolutely. We have had Santa there 3-4 years in a row now, and he is a massive draw. When we opened the museum in 2020, was first weekend in October. I think it was October 3rd, 2020. We had Santa, because if you come to the museum and you go through, and off the sides we have porches that come off, and we had Santa set outside under one of those porches. And the number of people that came through the museum, all of these kids coming through the museum to go out to see Santa, it was really cool. And everybody had a great time. This past year he was set up inside the house and they, had a backdrop, and people could have their picture with Santa. And the guy looked like Santa. I mean, what you would picture. He was a jolly old white beard fella, and
Right.
and he was a great guy, and he's an SCV member.
Good.
So
Good.
it's a win-win all the way around. So come on out. If you can't do it at any other time, come the first week in December and have your picture made with Santa and tour the homes. And I'm fortunate enough that I'm able to be a tour guide in the home on that weekend. Most of the time, they put me in one of the parlors. Wherever they need me to go, I'll be more than happy to do it. I would like to touch on one thing, and this is why you and I had this conversation yesterday, and the camp in Pensacola. And I'm trying to think of the name of it, and it has slipped me. I didn't write it down. But Pensacola, Florida, camp there won the Nathan Bedford Forrest National Award for the most growth. What I mean is the most new members, not the most growth, but the most new members.
Wow.
And they did that with billboards.
Exactly.
Florida Division has a program in which they will help camps within their division on projects. I don't know all the particulars. The bosses in Florida can tell you. Calvin can tell you. Rick Roberts can tell you. They can tell you all of the particular details. But they came to Florida Division SCV and said, we want to start running billboards. And they started running billboards. And then out of that, they get the award for the most new members. So I see a correlation there, and when we start talking about advertising, and the Kennedys are fantastic at it. They have been doing this. They've been promoting their books for generations now. Playing. It might feel like it, though.
Yeah.
But you've been doing it a long time. So billboards and stuff like that, they work. And that is a direct correlation to that. And what I want to do is I want to thank the Pensacola camp for being forthright in their thinking and getting out there and working the program. A billboard program isn't a brand new program. Other divisions, camps, Nationals done it. It's happened. We've done it in Columbia, Tennessee. But they worked it. And then they went to the Florida Division with the idea, and Florida backed them on it. Give them some money to help them do it. It works. And I just want to congratulate them on that. I'm not trying to piggyback or take any kind of thunder from what you're talking about with your advertising, but this is just, I saw a direct correlation.
Well, this is one of the things, you and I talked about, because the folks up in Virginia did it during Confederate History Month in
Yes.
April of last year. And they had a whole month of billboards across the state. And I've talked even recently, last couple of days, with one of the gentlemen who has some connections with the billboard company that did that, which is a company that has billboards all across the South. Mm-hmm. And what I would like to challenge the division commanders is, why don't we try to work with National, with Division, see if we can put a package together of doing billboards on Confederate History Month across the South. And let's see if we can really generate some excitement about the Sons of Confederate Veterans. It's been proven to work in Virginia. It's been proven to work in Florida. Let's do a coordinated effort and give the enemy something to worry about.
Amen. Give them something to fuss about.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, that's one of the things we need to be talking about and need to talk to our division commanders, because I think we could probably work a pretty good deal with this company, billboard company, for across the South if we do a package deal with them. So, but that's something that we didn't have on our agenda per se, but it is advertisement, it is promotion, and it's the things that we've got to do in order to get out into the public And the important thing is, if I put a billboard up in South Louisiana, say in Mandeville, that doesn't mean I'm going to get 30 new members next month, but it puts every politician in this area on notice, plus any politicians that drive through the area, that puts them on notice that there's an active group of people who are working to defend Southern heritage, and we need to make sure they're on our side. The politicians will say, we don't want to make them mad. And that's just part of our problem. You know, I would, in the good old days, politicians came to us hat in hand, but they don't do that anymore. Some of them give you that, oh God, here he comes look, you know, but that's all right. He knows that we have clout now, and we've got to develop that. So
you
go
are
ahead,
correct,
Commander. I know you wanted to talk about Arlington too, so
well, no, I actually wanted you to touch on that, because all of this is important, and the thing is, you and I could talk for another 2 hours on all of this, and because we both have a lot of opinions on this, and talking about Arlington, our head attorney Ed Phillips spoke about this at the national reunion. We're still progressing and we're still working on things. You're going to get something's coming out. The last thing we sent out, we got over 3,200 responses to. You're going to be getting another deal that is going to be coming out. Right now, we're framing this up. It probably won't be out until the middle part of the week, because we have some where we have to be. The one thing that I'm worried about the most is putting a load on our membership. Yeah. And here's the reason why. If we put stuff out there constantly for our membership to put out there, and we do know this to be a fact, we have sent stuff out on the Telegraph and then sent something out the next day and send something out a day or two after that, and people start unsubscribing. So we have to be, when we ask our membership to do something, we want to make sure that we're being as concise as possible to get the best effect. So you're not looking up once a week and seeing in your inbox something that we're asking you to do to contact somebody. Because eventually, and I know how people are, because I'm this way too, I get emails from the same people over and over again, and after a while you ignore them. When you get an email from us asking you to do something, it matters. It is purposeful. The message that is in it is purposeful. I don't want you to get tired of hearing from us. And I do know that you get tired of hearing from us because people unsubscribe from the Telegraph. If you have unsubscribed and you want to get back on the Telegraph, all you have to do is send an email to membership@scv.org, and they'll get you back on the Telegraph. Or you can call HQ and they will put you back on there as well. I don't want to be like Chicken Little as well, in whichever, the sky's falling every 15 minutes, asking, with the knee-jerk reaction to everything. We have to be cool. We have to be calm. We have to be precise. We're taking the sniper's approach to this. We're going to do our due diligence and make sure what we're doing is the right thing and the best thing. And so we're just not overloading. We're not putting too much stuff out there, and just letting everybody know that you're going to be getting some more stuff. You're not going to get a whole lot, but you're going to get some more stuff coming up. And I know that we're going to send something else, and he's talked about it earlier, concerning the one-click politics having to do with the poll results. Right. So, this, you're going to be getting more from this. But I just wanted to let you know, talking with Ed Phillips, he gave a good rendition, a good summary of where we are, and with AP Hill and with Arlington. And you'll be getting some more from us very soon. So I know that we're getting close to wrapping up. Is there something you wanted to say?
No, I just wanted you to put the plug in for our National Reunion 2024 in Charleston. I can't wait to go to South Carolina again. And by the way, we did send some information out. Did you not? On well, Adam, I believe, sent some out on
Yes.
Telegram. And that's the important thing about the Telegram. Every time we send stuff out, it's not things we want you to do. It's just informative, so you'll know it. And Adam sent out something on the 2024 reunion.
Yep.
So it's good information. You can click on it, get your hotel reservations in. Now, they were initially having some problems with the hotel room. Not us, but the hotel itself. You want to explain? That's corrected now, as I understand.
Oh, yes, sir. You are correct. And I want to thank Rick Little. He is with the host camp, SCV number 4 out of Charleston. He was on this lickety split. I found out about it Monday night when I was watching. I think it was Monday night. Might have been Tuesday night. When I was watching SCV chat or Look Around Florida, and it come up that people were trying to book rooms and they were told that the rooms were occupied. Contacted him. They got right on it, found out what the problem was, made it right with the hotel. You can contact the hotel now, tell them you're with the Sons of Confederate Veterans and you want the SCV rate. Now, if you call and say you just want to book a room,
yeah,
they're going to tell you it's full because of the number of rooms that have already been blocked.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to tell them that that you're with the Sons of Confederate Veterans and you want the SCV rate. And if you do that, if you call them, you can get it in that way. If you can't get it called in, you want to go through, you can go through the website. You can go to SCV's website and book everything there as well. So I want to thank Rick Little. I want to thank the people who had problems for bringing it to our attention so we can contact it and get things worked. But everything's worked out and rooms are being booked, and it is going to be one big reunion. Everybody I'm talking to, everything that they have planned, you're going to want to go to Charleston. And it's an election year, so.
And you're not running, so you don't have to worry about it, do you?
I don't have to worry about it, but there's a lot that has to be done over the next year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is.
You're not past Commander-in-Chief until after the reunion, so you got all the responsibilities still.
Yes, sir. I am Commander-in-Chief until the swearing in on Saturday night, and with the neck ribbon gets passed. So it's there's so much that we have left to do. And I tell you,
keep it going,
sir.
I said we've initiated a lot, and I'll go all the way back and to Paul Grambling, past Commander-in-Chief Paul Grambling, when he first started. Reclaim the narrative, change it to our favor, and then McClooney, past Commander-in-Chief Larry McClooney, he kept the ball rolling. Now you took the ball and you've been running with it. So we've got to keep this movement going. We've got a lot to do, but we've had a lot accomplished, and
Yes.
we're going to do a lot more. We got 12 more months of the Jason Boshers administration, and we got a lot to do. And I look forward to getting it done.
Oh yes, sir. We're going to work up until the moment, and hopefully they will let us keep working on it. Whoever is going to be next in charge, we can keep this ball rolling, and we can keep doing this because we are making headway. We are having successes. Rome wasn't built in a day, folks. It takes a while to get any of these programs going, and the Kennedys have been fantastic to work with. The amount of ideas that they come up with and solutions to problems. There's any great idea and you start working on it, you're going to run into a problem.
Amen.
But you don't throw your hands up and go, oh, we're done. Kennedys don't throw their hands up. They don't surrender to nobody. And you know what they do is they just duck their head, put their nose to the grindstone, and they work to figure out a solution. And that is the reason why so much gets done. Is my wife says I am extremely stubborn. My mama still tells me that I'm stubborn, and you know they don't give up. I don't know how to quit, and I have no intention. I want to keep. I want to keep doing this.
Our retirement plan is in heaven. So
Well, as I heard a man tell me years ago when I was pouring concrete, he was, you know, kind of, we're having a good time out there, and he goes, "I'll be mellow when I'm dead, and I'll sleep when I'm dead." You know, and I appreciate that, and I want to thank you and your brother for this past year. I have enjoyed it. It has been a lot of work, a lot of conversations, some stressful times. But we're going to keep going. We got a lot to do. We got a bunch of stuff coming up this month. Then we got, September and October, we're just starting to plan again. So,
and with that, we've got an hour and 10 minutes into the program. So I want to express my appreciation to the Commander-in-Chief for his time, and he's there at the hotel room. I'm sure he and his lovely bride would like to have a little private time to themselves to either get something to eat or just relax. And I want to thank all those who have signed on tonight and have been with us. We appreciate you very much. Listen, our aim for this, the Commander-in-Chief Boshers, the Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief, my not quite as good looking twin brother, or myself, our aim is to have the SCV be the national spokesperson for Southern heritage. And when we get to the point where Fox News or Don Bongino or whoever calls us and asks us, and by us, I don't mean the Kennedys, I mean the SCV. They call national headquarters to find out what is your take on this particular issue concerning Southern heritage. They don't do it yet, but they will, and that's our aim, that's our game plan. And Moose's father, Harrison Dawes, we appreciate you being on, staying on with us. I think we've done our deed. Commander, you have anything else you want to say?
Thank everybody for tuning in. Stay Southern. Don't give up. They didn't. We won't either.
Amen, brother. With that, good night to all. Y'all have a good Dixie afternoon.
Stay Southern.